Dudes, welcome back. How's it going? You know, we're on the third season that I've been working on this channel consecutively, and this is the third season that it's been Project 253. Things are going a little slower now, you might notice, but that's okay because there's good things in the works. Paint this up for a friend, send it to him, make it look kind of cool and stuff, but I plugged it in and it doesn't work. Yeah, next. I started this channel about 13 years ago because I like cars and I like making videos too. I was editing videos back when VHS was a thing, on a homemade editing deal made out of old VCRs and stereos. I even found a way to make my own box art. It was pretty cool. Cassettes had their own boxes, the whole works. I was growing up with a bunch of friends that were all into motocross and stuff like that. My family was all into like classic cars, hot rods, Harleys, choppers, mostly. We had a bike shop, the whole works. So in 2006, I make the transition, being a motocross kid, going into drifting. I drifted with an AE86, 16 valve, 100 horsepower Trueno. Drove that from 2006 to 2011. Within that time, I was living in the back of my dad's garage. I had a little place there, living free, living cheap. Everything was good. It was cool. Then eventually had to get my own place. So I built a house and garage. Now I had adult things to pay for. Ended up parting out the AE86. Fast forward to 2017, I'm driving a 1966 Pontiac Acadia. Back to my roots, I grew up in a muscle car kind of family, and this car had been in the family since it was practically new. So driving that for a while, I kind of missed a car that could go fast and handle, so I decided to start modifying it. That very same summer, in the month of July, I bought my RX-7 because I wanted something to drive while I was working on the muscle car, and I wanted something back in the tuner kind of style things, and I figured if I was going to get one, I'd get one that I really wanted. And the FD was my top of my list. About a week after that, my girlfriend surprises me with a really early birthday present and takes me out to Formula Drift. I get to meet all the pro drivers, get autographs with them, hang out with them, take pictures with them, talk to them, get to know them, see the pros in action. It was the absolute time of my life. We were there for all 3 days, hanging around the pit areas and stuff like that. It was amazing. Blew my mind. I actually vlogged the whole thing and lost the footage, but it kicked my ass into gear and made me realize how much I miss drifting. So the next step was to try to get back into it. And in that very same month, I lost my kid brother to a car accident. He was speeding and lost control, got thrown out of the car. He was the one that came to get the RX-7 with me. So that's where the car kind of holds a special value. And then after that moment, I decided it was to go full tilt on the YouTube channel, because that was something that him and I did, was watch a lot of YouTube and scheme and dream up plans. And he had a Supra and he wanted to start drifting. So that was it, pedal to the metal. I was motivated, I had a reason. I figured I could do something, and then maybe he would get a chance to watch it, if you know what I mean. So when this channel became Project 253, I started going for it. Filming anything, filming everything, just having a lot of fun. Started with the RX-7, then I started working on my Acadian and chopping that up and making that like a pro touring muscle car, and then grabbed the camera and stuff and headed out to Jamie's place. Filming there, filming my buddies, going out to car meets, car shows, all kinds of stuff. Anything that I could do that was a lot of fun and showed off the culture, showed off the cars. Now the thing is, I'm into all kinds of cars. I like JDM cars, tuners and stuff like that. I like muscle cars, I like drag cars, I like drift cars the most. I'm a big race car fan, so we just filmed everything, all kinds of stuff. Now, getting out to all these shows and doing stuff, and that all costs money. So does building the cars. So it's just a big, giant run around in circles, film stuff, do a little work, film stuff, do a little work, and keep going and keep pushing out content and trying to make something of it. And we had a blast. I got to meet all kinds of cool people, all kinds of new people, and all kinds of different disciplines of driving. Drag racers and drifters and road racers, collectors, car builders. I got to be behind the scenes of a lot of things that were really, really cool. The best part was all the people that I got to meet along the way and all the friends I made working with different garages and starting different projects. And the other part that was really good was the lessons that I learned along the way. I got such an education from all these experiences that I know what I can do, I know what I can't do, and I know where I want to go now more than ever, I would say. And especially because of the way things worked out recently, it's definitely time for something. Everything was setting up, 2020 was coming, we're gonna rock it, we're gonna have a great time. Started working on the RX-7, getting things ready, we're gonna go drift it, and then 2020 actually started. No more shows, no more events, no more racetracks, no more car parts for a while. The whole world hit the big pause button. That's when I started thinking about a lot of things, started looking at stuff, looking into how this channel is and how it was and where it's going, where I want it to go, and what I want it to be. One of the biggest things I learned and what I've discovered after looking at stuff and analyzing it, what the biggest default of this channel really is number one, I've got no continuity. I've never gotten into a project and stuck to it long enough to complete it and actually have enough following for that thing before moving on to something else that ends up being pretty much totally different. So from a YouTube standpoint, I'm not doing too great with the followers and stuff like that, but that's definitely not the point here. The other problem was always going around in circles. Instead of concentrating on a project, saving up and spending the money on taking the next step, it was always about either getting back to the racetrack, drifting, breaking the car and having to fix it, not moving on with the projects, or spending money going out to different shows and different events and using that time to just cover stuff instead of actually building stuff. So I know where I've been. Now I had to decide where I wanted to go. When I started the channel back in 2017, I decided to become a YouTuber. And then I started behaving like a YouTuber. But I'm not really a YouTuber. I don't have the following, I don't have the numbers, I don't have the fan base, I don't have the advertising, anything like that. But I was spending money like I was. Before I started the channel, I threw $10,000 easily in parts for my 66 Nova. I bought the RX-7 on a loan. I bought various other parts, all on credit. Got way too many project cars on the go at the same time, and with nothing to back it up. So it was basically gonna go until it just fell on its face. When the world hit pause, that's when I realized it was a good time to clean the slate, start afresh, get everything organized, get everything figured out, and make my way, take the next step of where I want to go. So I organized everything, I sold all my project cars, got rid of the 240, we got rid of the Camaro, I got rid of a bunch of engines and stuff I had lying around, stuff I didn't need, stuff that was in the way. You know, you always collect those things that you might need one day, except for that one day never happens. So that was time to clear the slate. Got rid of all the projects and at the same time got rid of all the debts. So now, starting at zero. Funny thing was, I realized that pretty much everything I ever wanted was right here in front of me. I already had it. My big dream life setup has always been about 5 cars deep. I always wanted a really sweet muscle car of my dreams. If I could have any car, it's the 66 Acadian that I have. It belonged to my grandfather, then my uncle, now it's mine. If I could have any JDM tuner car in the world, it would be my RX-7 FD3. It's a car I've always dreamed of, always loved. It was the last car my brother helped me get before he passed away. I always wanted a sweet tuner style car as a daily. Got the GT86, that's covered. I used to drift an AE86, that's perfect. I love that car. I always wanted a race car, and I needed a truck to haul that race car around, so I got the truck. The only thing really missing is a good race car. Now I knew I'd want to keep the Acadian around forever, and I'd want to keep the RX-7 around forever too, and that's why I've always been hesitant about turning them into all-out drift cars or race cars, because you never know, out there you could hit the wall, smash it, and total it. Maybe I want to drive this thing to my wedding, or my kid's graduation, or their wedding, or whatever. And the Acadian too. Those are 2 cars I always wanted to have around. So after realizing all this, it seems like having a fresh start, a clean slate, and everything I could ask for already, everything else moving on is just a game. It's to have fun and enjoy it, do things I love to do. Maybe it's time to save these 2 beauties from a life of being on the racetrack and put them away for the rainy day. Take everything I've learned, all my experiences, and all the cool stuff I've done, and put it into the next build, a race car. Something that's kind of an art project, a canvas where I can put everything to the test. My knowledge, my skill, everything I've learned, and see what comes out on the other end. And then moving forward, I could do a car like this, or I could do up my 66. One of my biggest dreams in my life was to build a few cars that were obviously mine, basically like signature builds, built in a certain way that you know I built it, my own little line of cars, and I have a few cars in mind, but I want to make sure they come out right. And I always said that when I was 35, I would get more into the muscle car scene. I'm still doing both. I'm going to be 37 soon, so maybe it's time I take that step. There's some really cool things that are going to start happening around here. And with your support, if you shop at the SpeedemonDesign Speed Shop or the 253 Limited Shop, every little bit helps. We're asking for your help, but we want to make sure you get something in return. So go check it out. We're in for a good time. We got new things coming, and that's why these videos have been so scarce, is because we're working on a lot of stuff in the background. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share it. Peace out, stay happy. We're gonna get crazy.